Hi, if you're watching this video right now, chances are you're familiar with that feeling. The feeling when the ground goes out from under your feet, when your soul's compass feels like it's broken and every day becomes a wander through unfamiliar terrain. Perhaps you feel lost, not just slightly confused, but truly lost. It's as if everything that once seemed clear and understandable has dissolved into a fog. Perhaps you look at other people's lives on social media, see their success, their clear goals, their radiant smiles, and you feel even more isolated. It's as if you're the only one stuck at a crossroads while the rest of the world is moving forward with confidence. You find yourself asking, what's wrong with me? Or worse, what do I do now? I'm here to tell you. There is something wrong with you, and you are not alone. Feeling lost is not a sign of weakness or of something wrong with you. It's part of the human experience, a deep, sometimes painful but completely normal phase that most of us go through. What's more, it may not be the end, but the beginning. The beginning of a journey to something much deeper, more meaningful and true. In this video, we will not offer a magic pill or a one-size-fits-all prescription. Instead, we'll take you through a deep but very practical analysis of why we feel lost, how to recognize the true roots of this condition, and most importantly, what specific steps you can take to regain your footing, find your inner compass, and start moving in a direction that is truly yours. Prepare yourself for a journey inside yourself. It will be difficult, but it will be the most important journey of your life. What does it mean to feel lost? The universality of experience. Before we look for a way out, let's understand exactly what it is we are looking for. What is really behind that all-encompassing feeling of being lost? It's not just the lack of a route on the map. It's much deeper than that. It can be emotional loss, a feeling of apathy, emptiness, detachment from one's emotions, or conversely, a chaotic flurry of them. Existential loss, lack of meaning, purpose, understanding of one's place in the world, questions of why am I here, or what is my purpose. Professional career loss, job dissatisfaction, lack of prospects, feeling like you are in the wrong line of work or don't know what to do at all. Interpersonal loss, feeling disconnected from loved ones, loneliness even in crowds, lack of deep connections. Identity loss, not understanding who you are outside of the roles you play, parent, coworker, partner. Feeling like you don't recognize yourself. And here it is important to realize, you are not unique in this condition. Many people around the world, regardless of age, status, or wealth, experience periods when they feel lost. This is supported by numerous psychological studies that show that identity and existential crises are a natural part of personal development, especially at life's turning points. Graduating from high school, graduating from university, changing jobs, having children, breaking up, midlife crisis. Psychologists call it a normative crisis. That is, a crisis that is expected and even necessary for growth. This is not a cause for shame. It's a cause for exploration. Why do we feel lost? Deeper reasons. There are always deeper reasons behind feeling lost. Let's break down the most common ones, drawing on fundamental concepts of psychology. Lack of clarity of goals and values. If you don't have a map, how can you know where you are going? Very often, we get lost because we don't have a clear idea of what we really want from life, what values are important to us. We live by inertia, following other people's expectations or common scenarios. Get an education, get a job, get married, buy a house. But what if these scripts don't resonate with your true essence? Psychologist Viktor Frankl, who survived the horrors of concentration camps, argued in his work Man in Search of Meaning that it is the search for meaning, unique to each individual, that is the main driving force of human beings. Without this meaning, there is an existential vacuum, that very lostness. Life transitions and crises. Any meaningful life change is stressful. Moving, job change, separation, birth of a child, loss of a loved one, even successful achievement of a big goal. All this destroys the usual way of life and can knock us out of our rut. Old reference points disappear, and new ones have not yet been formed. This is a period of uncertainty, which inherently feels like loss. Erik Erikson's psychological theory of personality development describes 8 stages of psychosocial development, each characterized by a specific crisis, the overcoming of which leads to the formation of a new identity and strength. Feelings of loss often correspond to these transitional moments. Comparing oneself to others and social pressure. The age of social media has made this problem particularly acute. We constantly see the perfect lives of others, their accomplishments, their happiness. This creates the illusion that everyone around us is successful and happy except us. We begin to doubt our own path, feel like failures, lagging behind. Society dictates certain standards of success, beauty, happiness, and if we do not fit into them, we feel that we have taken a wrong turn. This phenomenon is well described in psychology as social comparison, and it often leads to lower self-esteem and higher levels of anxiety, information and choice overload. The modern world offers us an infinite number of possibilities. Hundreds of professions, thousands of courses, millions of leisure options. The paradox of choice, as psychologist Barry Schwartz has shown, is that too much choice does not make us happier, but rather paralyzes us and makes us doubt every decision we make, leading to regrets and a sense of missed opportunities. We fear making the wrong choice and end up making no choice at all, freezing in place. Burnout and chronic stress. When we work ourselves to exhaustion for long periods of time, ignore our needs, and live in a state of constant stress, our resources are depleted. Burnout is not just fatigue, it is a deep emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion that leads to cynicism, apathy, and feelings of detachment. In such a state, it's hard to feel anything but devastated, let alone have a clear vision of your path. The psychology of motivation. How our inner engine works. If feeling lost is a lack of movement, then motivation is the energy that starts the process. To find our way, we need to understand how our internal engine works. There are two types of motivation: intrinsic and extrinsic. Extrinsic motivation. This is when we do things for external rewards or to avoid punishment. For example, working for money, studying for grades, following rules for approval. It can be effective over short distances, but rarely brings deep satisfaction and a sustained sense of direction. Intrinsic motivation. This is when we do something for the sake of the process, for pleasure, interest, achievement, satisfaction, or a sense of meaning. It could be learning a new language simply because it's interesting, playing a sport for its own health, creating for the sake of self-expression. Psychologists Edward Dacey and Richard Ryan, authors of Self-Determination Theory, argue that it is intrinsic motivation based on the satisfaction of three basic psychological needs: autonomy, a sense of control over one's life; competence, a sense of mastery; and connectedness, the need for belonging. That is the key to sustained well-being and a sense of meaningfulness. When we feel lost, it often means that one or more of these basic needs are not being met. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Another fundamental approach is Abraham Maslow's pyramid of needs. He argued that people are motivated by the fulfillment of a number of needs arranged in a hierarchical order. First, basic physiological needs: food, water, sleep, must be met, then needs for security, then love and belonging, then respect, and finally, self-actualization, the realization of one's potential. If your basic needs are not met, it is extremely difficult to think about higher purposes and the meaning of life. Feelings of loss often arise when we try to leap to self-actualization, ignoring the gaping gaps at lower levels of the pyramid. The role of dopamine and the reward system. On a neurobiological level, motivation is closely linked to the dopamine system in our brains. Dopamine is not only a pleasure hormone, but more importantly, an anticipation hormone. It is released when we anticipate a reward, when we see an opportunity to achieve a goal. Feeling lost is often accompanied by low levels of dopamine activity because there are no clear goals, no anticipation, no beacons on the horizon. Small, achievable steps, which we'll talk about later, help reset this system by creating success loops that stimulate dopamine production and give us the energy to move forward. A state of flow. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi introduced the concept of a flow state. It is an optimal state of consciousness where one is completely absorbed in an activity, experiences deep pleasure and focus, and loses the sense of time. In a flow state, we are maximally productive, creative, and feel alive. Finding activities that can bring you into this state is a powerful source of intrinsic motivation and helps you reconnect with yourself. Feeling lost is the direct opposite of flow. Diagnosing your lostness. Practical steps of self-discovery, so we understand why we feel lost and how motivation works. Now let's move on to specific tools to help you do your own diagnosis and find your unique benchmarks. Self-reflection journal. This is one of the most powerful tools. Daily entries, even 10 to 15 minutes each, help you pull out hidden thoughts, fears, and desires. Ask yourself questions: what bothers me the most today? What brought me joy, satisfaction? At what point did I feel like myself? If I had unlimited time and resources, what would I do? What feelings am I ignoring? Regular practice of journaling helps you see patterns, understand your true emotions, and begin to form a clearer picture of yourself. Exercise my values. Write out 10 to 15 words that describe what is most important to you in life, e.g., freedom, family, development, creativity, safety, justice, adventure. Then sort them by importance, choosing 5 to 7 core values. Consider how your current life aligns with these values. Where is there misalignment? This misalignment is a frequent cause of feeling lost. When your actions are at odds with your deepest values, it drains you. The wheel of life balance. Draw a circle and divide it into sectors representing important areas of your life career: relationships, health, finances, hobbies, personal growth, spirituality, family, etc. Rate each area on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is complete dissatisfaction and 10 is complete harmony. Connect the dots. You will see which spheres are sagging. This doesn't mean you need to urgently fix everything to a 10, but it does give you a map of where to direct your attention. Often, getting lost comes from focusing too much on one area while ignoring others, leading to imbalance. SWOT personality analysis. Apply the business tool to yourself. Write out your strengths. What are you good at? What are you unique in? Weaknesses. What do you struggle with? What do you need to improve? Opportunities. What external factors can help you? Threats. What external factors could get in the way? This exercise helps you see yourself more objectively and identify potential paths for development, as well as recognize your limitations. Pillars of reorientation. Concrete steps to finding your way after diagnosis. We get down to action. This is not a snapshot process. It is building brick by brick. Acceptance and forgiveness. The first and perhaps most difficult step is to accept your current state. Do not berate yourself for feeling lost. Forgive yourself for past mistakes, for inaction. Condemnation and guilt only bind you. Only by accepting the current point A can you map out point B. This is the basis for further movement. Start small. The power of micro-actions. Huge goals can be paralyzing. Instead of "I will find my calling," try "I will take 15 minutes a day to think about my interests." Instead of "I will change my life," try "I will make my bed this morning." As psychologist Stephen Geis, author of Many Habits, said, "Small, ridiculous goals that are impossible to fail build momentum and create momentum. Each small accomplishment triggers the very dopamine system we've been talking about and restores your confidence." Create your circle of support. Human beings are social creatures. Isolation only exacerbates feelings of loss. Connect with people you trust who support and inspire you. Share your experiences. If there are no such people around, look for communities of interest, mentors, or consider working with a psychologist or coach. Getting an outside perspective, validation of your feelings, and practical advice is invaluable. Taking care of your physical and mental health. This is not just glossy advice, it's fundamental to your existence. Sleep. Getting enough quality sleep is critical for cognitive function, emotional regulation, and recovery. Nutrition. Healthy food is energy for your brain and body. Physical activity. Even 30 minutes of walking a day significantly improves mood, reduces stress, and stimulates endorphin production. Meditation, mindfulness. Mindfulness practices help reduce anxiety, improve concentration, and learn to live in the present moment, rather than constantly wandering into the past or worrying about the future. They help ground yourself. Without these basics, any attempt to find your way will be like building a house on quicksand. Research and experimentation. You don't know what you like until you try it. Sign up for a trial dance class, start learning a new language, try volunteering, read books on topics you've never been interested in. Being open to new experiences is a way to expand your horizons and accidentally stumble upon something that ignites you. It's a process of iteration, trying things out, analyzing, adjusting. Don't be afraid of the wrong experiments. Every experience is information. Rethink the concept of success. Perhaps your sense of lostness is fueled by the fact that you're trying to conform to other people's definitions of success. What if true success for you is not millions in your bank account or a prestigious position, but harmonious relationships, the opportunity to do what you love, freedom of choice, and peace of mind? Define your own metrics of success. This frees up a tremendous amount of energy that was spent chasing other people's goals. Developing a growth mindset. Psychologist Carol Dweck has shown in her work that people with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities and qualities are unchanging, and see failure as proof of their incompetence. People with a growth mindset, on the other hand, see failures as opportunities for learning and growth. When you feel lost, it's the perfect time to develop a growth mindset. Think of it not as a judgment, but as a developmental stage from which you will emerge stronger and wiser. When to get help. It is important to realize that self-help is effective, but not all-powerful. If the feeling of being lost is accompanied by severe and prolonged apathy, loss of interest in everything, sleep and appetite disturbances, persistent sadness, anxiety, or irritability, thoughts of self-harm or suicide, severe difficulties in daily life, inability to work, self-care, these may be signs of depression or another serious mental disorder. In such cases, do not hesitate to seek professional help from a psychotherapist, psychiatrist, or psychologist. This is not a show of weakness, but a show of responsibility and strength. A specialist will be able to make a full diagnosis, offer effective treatment strategies, and help you get out of this state. You deserve support. Conclusion: if you have watched this video to the end, it means there is a spark burning inside of you. A spark of desire to find yourself, a spark of desire for a meaningful life. And that's already a huge step. Remember, feeling lost is not a destination. It's a crossroads. It's an invitation to stop, listen to yourself, rethink, and choose a new path. It doesn't mean you are bad or broken. It means you are a living, evolving human being who is searching for your truth. The path to yourself is not a straight line. It is a maze full of twists and turns, dead ends, and unexpected discoveries. There will be days when you feel confused again. That's normal. The important thing is to not give up, to keep asking questions, to keep looking, to keep moving forward, even if it's in very small steps. Today, right now, take that first small step. Maybe it will be a journal entry, a conversation with a friend, a walk, or simply deciding to forgive yourself. Allow yourself to be imperfect. Allow yourself to not know all the answers. And know that each step, even the smallest, brings you closer to the version of yourself you've always wanted to be. Your story is unique, and your journey is waiting for you. It's time to start writing it. If this video resonated with your soul, please do post a like so more people can see it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. Leave a comment. Tell us which step are you willing to take first, or share your experience. Your story may help others. Thank you for being with us. Keep looking, keep growing, keep living your unique life.